Welcome to the Killing Podcast, Season 2, Episode 9, Sayonara, Hiawatha.
Good read on that one.
I'm your host, Martha Southgate.
And I'm Rob Southgate. I like it. Now I'm going to be walking around saying, Sayonara, Hiawatha.
So, Holder's at the police station.
Yes, and he's there to get the key.
But their office is cleaned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, he's got to find wherever they're holding that key.
Exactly. He calls Sarah and he says, "You're right, they've got it all." Just as Carlson comes in.
Yes.
And
she says that he should talk to Ray. Ray is their guy. Ray has been the one that has helped them in the past.
Do you remember that thing from the 70s? And you can call me Ray. What is that?
Of course. I don't know what it was. Okay. I just remember the guy. It was Ray J. Jr. was the guy who did it. It was
very annoying.
And he'd say, "You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me Ray J, or you can call me RJJ." It was just,
okay,
yeah, it was
Annoying.
ridiculous.
Anyway.
I don't know what that was, though. I think it was like a commercial, or I wonder if that was the guy's act.
Oh, that's sad.
Like, he was probably on, like, Carson doing that, and people laughed. It's funny when he says his name 50 different ways.
Okay, well, we just talked about it for way longer than
I know. I can talk about Flip Wilson, too, as long as we're talking about things that make no sense that people laughed at.
So Carlson tells Holder that County has all of his stuff from their office in his apartment.
Right.
That's strange, So Carlson tells him that Sarah spent a month in the psych ward because of another case. So he's he's just causing trouble. Well,
he's causing trouble is what he's doing. Yeah.
Holder doesn't want to hear it, of course.
Right.
And just looks at him and says, "Who do I talk to at County?" I mean, he just doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, he knows what's going on now. In the past, he may have gotten played a little bit by some of this stuff, but he knows now Sarah's his partner, and there's a lot of crap going on.
Well, and he knows that there were issues. He knows that Sarah had difficulties, but he has them too, so he doesn't judge her for that.
They're both damaged goods.
Right.
Yeah.
And, as everyone is.
That's right.
Yeah.
So while Holder is in there talking to the lieutenant, Sarah's sitting in the car out in front because she can't go in because she's not a cop anymore. And we see she watches somebody get into a car. And it turns out that's Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
his old sponsor.
Oh no, she's not at the precinct, but she's sitting there like scoping this out, and she sees Gil get into a car. Yeah. I was thinking that she was at the police station, but that doesn't make sense. Why would Gil be there? Unless maybe he is involved. Maybe he was there doing that. I couldn't really tell where they were.
I think they were at the police station.
You think they were?
And she was watching and sitting in the car waiting for Holder.
Yeah.
And she saw Gil come out and get in a car.
Right. So that's probably what it is. But
because that would, he's involved.
Yeah.
With Carlson, he's involved in this whole nightmare.
Right.
And he's been involved since we've seen it when the last lieutenant guy, when
everything went south there. Right.
The picture and everything, the photo and the.
So Sarah and Holder show up at Darren's headquarters because they're not able to get this evidence out of County.
Right.
And
they want access to the reservation.
Yeah, they don't even want to screw around
here. They're jumping right to, they're saying, "You've got some pull. And, maybe you can get Chief Jackson, to let us there, let us in." And they said, the case needs to get solved in order for you to win the election.
This is damaging you and your election. You need to step up here. You need to use your pull.
So they're trying to get him to get...
But I'm sure he's thinking, I don't know what kind of pull I have right now. With Adam's in bed with them and, whatever's going on here. I don't know what I can make happen. Right. Do I want to mess with that right now?
Well, he wants to win the election. And he's got to close the case.
So now Sarah and Holder are talking, and she apologizes to him for them splitting up.
She says, "I shouldn't have left you alone," and he says, "It's all right, we're good. You're still my BFF." Oh,
right.
And Martha gets weepy.
Getting the feels again. He asks
her where she's staying, and of course, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Typical. The Killing.
Yes.
She completely ignores him. It doesn't answer the question. She thanks him.
And she leaves.
Thanks him for being there for Jack. And
why did she go cold all of a sudden?
Because could you ever explain the communication with these people?
Because they were just having kind of a moment. You were having a moment.
I was having a way bigger moment, apparently, than Sarah was having.
She just leaves.
She left. And then she sees Jack's coat and breaks down crying.
Yes. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe she knew that she was going to have emotions and she needs to get out of there.
She didn't want anyone to be that nice to her.
Yeah.
And maybe she thought he's going to insist, like, you come and stay at my apartment or whatever.
Or, how's Jack?
Yeah, so she just didn't want to see where this was going.
Yeah.
So I feel so bad for her because she misses Jack so much and she knows that she just can't put this away. She can't put this down for him.
Right.
Even for him. She just can't do it. So Mitch shows up. This was
go ahead.
Day
22.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Mitch shows up at her old boyfriend's house. Okay.
This is actually, before I get too disgusted,
interesting.
This is probably the best Mitch scene we've had in a while.
Yeah.
This was an interesting thing unfolding here. I'm just so done with Mitch that it's hard for me to even, I just want to get through any Mitch scene.
No.
But this actually was good.
This is good. So he opens the door and he's surprised, he's surprised to see her. And he says, "You're here because of Rosie." Well, that threw me.
Yeah.
Because thinking, this guy knew about Rosie all this time. I was trying to process.
Yeah, we didn't know if he knew, but, and we still don't know if he knows.
No, we do know, but he only knew her as a teenager. I was thinking that he was her father the whole time, that he was involved.
Right.
And I was really surprised. No. And she was going to his house. Rosie was going to this guy's house without Mitch knowing.
Right. And he asks about her, how's she doing or whatever. So he doesn't know she's dead.
He doesn't know she's dead. And I'm thinking the whole time, oh my gosh, this guy it's his daughter. And oh my gosh, maybe he didn't know he was his daughter. I didn't know what was going on.
No. But this is a big saddie face I drew on my paper again. This is terrible.
He said that she seems angry and a little lost. And no parent wants to hear that about their kid, but he says she's really honest and direct, just like you when you were her age.
Right.
And, so, he's giving her some insight that she didn't necessarily want to know.
Right. Well, and he also says that Rosie wanted to know if they were in love.
Yeah.
So if there was any question about this guy knowing anything, here it is.
Yeah.
Or at least, once again, we don't know if he knows that Rosie's his, or if just that she found out that Mitch had a relationship with this guy.
Right.
Because didn't they have it while she was broken up with Stan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rosie found out about this guy. Rosie's
because of the letters that Mitch had in her box.
That he didn't get.
Right.
Yeah.
So Stan is at home and he's listening to voicemail, and Tommy was involved in a serious incident at school.
Of course he was, because these kids are...
They're being neglected.
They're being neglected, and their world is chaos.
And no one is talking to them about anything.
Right. Yeah.
And it's driving me crazy. I can't even imagine what it'd be like for a kid doing that.
Well, and think about it. Even so much as this, when he gets this call, it's mixed in with all these crappy messages from kooks about Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. This is Tommy's world.
Right.
Everywhere he turns, it's Rosie this, Mitch leaving,
right?
These crazy people calling.
And Terry is a train wreck, and the grandparents are no help.
And Stan going to jail, and he doesn't know what's going on.
Well, and Stan doesn't tell him anything. So,
right.
It's just a disaster.
So I'm concerned. When they say there's a serious incident, something's up.
Well, not an accident either, an incident, which means that he did something. That there was a fight or something. There was something that happened, but not good. So Sarah's asleep in her car, and Holder finds her, and he tells her evidence isn't at county.
Right.
The stuff never showed up.
Yeah.
Where the heck is it?
Yeah, the case files are just not even there. It's like, now what's gone on with these things?
This is so X-Files.
Oh, well, it's so killing, too. This is so, everything
but it reminds me so much
happens seems to be one step forward, two steps back. Oh, it's getting a little frustrating.
But not in a bad way.
No. But I need them to go and find the files somewhere.
We need something, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they go to find the files at Gil's
Yes.
Because they...
Oh, that's what Gil was doing.
Uh-huh.
So she wasn't outside of the precinct. She was outside of county. Holder was in county looking for this stuff. She saw Gil come out and get in his car and go. That's why, and then she fell asleep out there. He was in there so long. Absolutely. That's what just happened. That's why she knew that to go to Gil's. That's why they knew to go to Gil's. That makes so much sense to me now.
Something like that.
Yep.
So Gil found his apartment ransacked, and
right.
Holder is there. I loved this scene.
Yes.
So much did I love the scene.
This was excellent.
Gil is a dirty, rotten, evil man. And so here's Holder getting to finally one-up him a little after those horrible things he said to him.
Yep.
So Holder's there.
Back in
He's
the driver's
eating
seat
his
here.
food.
Yeah, right.
And he tells him that he wants the Larson case files. And then he starts saying, do you know what arrabbiata means in Italian? Because that's the type of sauce he was eating. He said, it means angry. And Holder says, do you know what a low-life tweaker does when he gets pissed?
Right.
And Gil says, you don't have the balls. And Holder says, timing's everything. Your time will come, an eye for an eye.
Oh, yeah. He was so threatening.
Oh, it was so
scene.
Good. It was so good. And the fact that he got in.
Yep.
The fact that he got to him, that he got, like, it was
This
good.
was like the Native Americans that use the coup stick. You know what a coup stick is?
Yeah.
That little hooked thing, and then the really great ones had very short coup sticks. That means they can get that close to you and damage you. They're telling you that without actually having to fight. That's how Holder, he just had the very short coup stick and went in there and tapped him and said, see how close I can get to you? Mm-hmm. This is super threatening.
Now, we had a friend who was Native American, and his dad was a police chief. Did he have one of these?
A coup stick?
Yeah.
It's not a modern thing. It's something like the
I thought that
Cowboys and Indians. What, like,
he said he used to walk down the hallway.
What are you talking about?
Jude used to tell us about the stick that walked down the hallway, and it terrified the hell out of him.
Well, that's scaring me right now. Is this an episode of, like, Ghost Hunters? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, but the stick that his dad had.
I don't remember that.
And he said his sister used to have horrible nightmares because
I bet that was a coup stick.
Right.
Oh, not a poo stick.
Not a poo
That was
stick.
a band, actually.
The Poo Sticks?
Hey, remember the Poo Sticks?
No.
Yeah, that totally was a band.
Really?
You can look them up on YouTube.
I don't want to.
Yep.
Although,
Although, if you type in Poo Stick, you might not get...
You're probably not going to get
right?
What Rob's talking about.
Ew, what band is this?
Okay.
All right, but they were a band, and they actually were good.
So we're going to go
Shout
back
out to the
here
Poo Sticks.
because I am so lost now because we were talking about things walking down hallways. Okay. So Gil...
I'm so freaked out by that.
You're the one who... Oh, forget it.
Let's go.
Okay. So Holder tells Sarah, he doesn't have the files. Gil doesn't have the files. He says, I tossed it pretty good. And Sarah holds up the iPad. She found something.
Right.
And he says, you finally figured out how to use the Slim Jim?
Right.
Oh, he's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And
well, and this is really smart. She just immediately goes to the GPS to see where's he been.
Well, and she said he was 30 minutes away last night.
Right.
So they're going there to find the files. Like,
so they look on the GPS. This is where he was. Obviously, that's probably where the files are.
Exactly. So brilliant.
Yeah.
But I love that he was teasing her about the iPad. Jim. Like she finally figured out how to use it. Right. Very funny. So Darren is meeting with the chief.
Wait. You think that he's teasing her that she learned how to use an iPad?
Yeah. Because she held it up. She found something.
Right. And what did he say?
You finally figured out how to use the Slim Jim.
And what does that mean?
The little iPad.
No! I knew it! A Slim Jim is what they used to break into cars.
I know, but I thought he was saying that was the iPad.
I knew you did. No, he meant that you figured out how to jimmy his lock and steal that out of his car.
Oh, she had Gil's iPad?
Yes! Stole Gil's iPad.
I was like, why does he call the iPad a Slim Jim?
I knew you were doing that. All right.
Oh, that's so funny.
Now it's clear.
Okay, so that's
I'm going to show you.
I was wondering, I'm like, she never had an iPad before.
No, we're going to look it up on the Slim Jim, and we're going to figure it out. Oh, my gosh,
that's so... I'm going to call it that from now on. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, well, I'm here now.
So Darren is meeting with Chief Jackson.
Yes.
And basically what they say is they want tax-exempt status on everything in exchange for an endorsement.
Well,
I mean, come on.
She says for anything built on reservation property.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Really?
I mean, come on. And what he's going to be the mayor. He doesn't have absolute power to just grant that. Although they're kind of playing with that here, like, oh yeah, he can do it.
They can.
I mean, come on.
But he says, as an act of good faith, let the police into the casino, and she says no.
Yeah.
So she's saying, oh, let's work together. You give me tax exempt status for anything we choose to build on the reservation. But I'm not going to do anything for you in return.
Right.
Like,
well, no, she's going to break her deal with Adam.
No, but I'm saying
but
she's
that's garbage.
Not. Yeah.
And I love this because, once again, now this is where I enjoy Darren more. When he is true to himself, when he doesn't fall into this garbage, he tells her off and he leaves. I'm like, you know what? That's what I want to see Darren doing.
Not the stupid basketball thing or, him shooting a basketball for $1 million.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was dumb. But this is
good. Yes,
this is great. When he tells her off, I'm like, that's what we need. We need to see him.
We need Darren with cojones.
Yes.
So Stan is meeting the teacher and the principal.
Yeah.
And it turned out...
He's at the school.
Yeah, and it turned out that Tommy killed baby birds that were in a nest.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh my gosh.
He killed starlings. What? So yeah, the kid's troubled, but now he's going to be like Norman Bates Jr.?
Right. Well, Norman Bates is a child.
What?
In Bates Motel.
He's a teenager.
That's a kid.
But I wasn't making a reference to
only a
Bates
couple
Motel.
years...
I was making a reference to Psycho.
It's the same thing.
And Norman Bates Jr. would be his son.
Oh. I am so...
Why don't you just snap into a Slim Jim and you'll find out?
Gosh. I'll go Google it on my Slim Jim.
Right.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
Okay, so...
So Tommy's suspended for 2 weeks. Now what?
Yeah, now he gets to hang out with Stan. That's not going to go well.
Oh.
This is not going well. And you know what? Why is he even back in school? It's only been, 3 weeks since his sister was killed.
And the kid's getting bullied. There's all kinds of bad stuff going on, but they got him in there anyway.
Yeah, they haven't caught the killer. It's like,
it's all.
And I know they wanted him to get back to school to get their life back to normal. Nah, you know what? It's not working.
That's not normal.
And now the kid's stomping on baby birds.
It's not good.
This is not a good scene.
So Holder shows Sarah Gil's storage locker. That's what they figured out was 30 minutes away, and Holder knew about it ahead of time, So
well, actually, they didn't go there for the storage locker. They got to the area, and Holder recognized it.
Right.
So
there's a storage locker right here. I've been there. So that's all. So Stan picks up Tommy and Denny and lays into Tommy. I hated this scene.
Oh,
this was
Stan is really mad, but you know what? You know what, dude? You're not really taking care of these boys.
No! And he lays the guilt on thick and he tells him that he's going to make his life miserable.
Yeah, he says your life is going to become a nightmare.
The kid is already in a nightmare. No Halloween, no TV, no video games.
Yeah, nothing for 2 weeks. Just sit there
and rot and don't bug me.
And think about your sister that was killed.
Are you
and your mom that's
kidding
not
me right
there.
Now? I hated the scene. Yeah. I was so angry. And I thought, well, now he's going to do far worse than kill baby birds.
Yeah. And then Tommy says he hates Rosie and he wishes he could
he's
leave
glad
like
she's
Mitch
dead.
did.
He says, I'm glad she's dead. And Stan slaps him.
Yeah, it says, I hate you too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, okay. It's easy to demonize Stan here.
I can demonize him.
But at the same time, this is just a pressure cooker.
Oh, yeah.
And Mitch, thanks for adding to this in a big way.
Well, and Tommy looks at him after he says, I hate you too. Stan says, I hate you too. I mean, can you imagine a parent saying that? And then he says, I wish I could leave you like Mom did. Oh, I mean, there is just nothing good in this. Like, this is so... I mean, at least they're finally communicating, but they're not communicating well.
No.
And if they had just talked in the weeks following this, they wouldn't be at this point where they're screaming these horrible things at each other. They would be... none of this would have happened had they actually communicated throughout this process.
Yep, terrible.
That's all I have to say on that.
That's all you have to say. Oh, yeah, let's get past that. That's one of those scenes I don't want to revisit.
Move back to, so Darren has no intention of working with Chief Jackson.
Right.
And Jamie is so mad.
Yeah. And Richmond realizes that he's going to lose because of this, but he is not changing his mind.
Right.
So,
Well, Darren asks Gwen, though. He says, am I going to lose the election? So
right.
he knows on some level that this is going to hurt him, but
right,
on
but
another
he's not
level,
going
he's like,
back
I'm not
and saying,
compromising.
Yeah.
And
once again, this is where I like Darren
I like
more.
him too, very much.
But I'm not liking Gwen and Jamie too much.
Well, they're just trying to win the election. They're doing their job.
But they're not doing what their candidate really wants.
Right.
So that's where they're not really being an advisor. They're trying to be a manipulator of Darren.
Right.
And I don't like that. But whatever. We're going to get more of Gwen and Jamie as we go forward, I'm sure.
So Sarah's talking to Jack on the phone, and he's at his dad's now. He says he has his own room and an iPod. And she says, well, let me know what math they put you in.
Sure.
And
as they're doing this, they're rifling through Gil's storage
right.
locker at the same time.
But they're having she's trying to connect.
Yep.
He's happy. He sounds settled. He sounds like he's, things are it feels good for him to be parented, and that things are going well. So she hangs up. Holder asks if he's okay. And, the maid is going to meet them. Oh, I see there. Okay. Holder asks while she's on the phone with him.
Try it again.
So while she's on the phone with him, Holder asks if he's okay.
Right.
And I can't figure out why I have this line in the center of it. I have the maid is going to meet them, and then Holder asks if she's okay. You can talk to me about whatever, whenever you want. And then she finds the files and the keys. So does she get another phone call?
No, you can ditch the maid thing. No.
Okay. So can I go back
yes.
then? And I'm going to leave off Holder asks if he's okay.
Right. Okay.
So she's just, talking to Jack, and they're rifling through the stuff in the storage locker. And then after she gets off the phone, they're kind of working there side by side, and Holder asks if she's okay.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And I said, no, she'd like to hug it out.
Right. That's what you said.
But Sarah didn't agree with me.
No.
So... he says, you can talk to me about whatever, whenever you want.
Oh.
But she doesn't care.
And she says, I need to talk it out for like 3 hours.
I know, every day.
Every day.
At least.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Because at this point, you've become Sarah.
Yes.
Or Sarah's become you. Yes.
Well, I'm trying to help Sarah.
Right.
So she finds the files and the key.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Well, and it was hidden under a cushion. So, he hid it under a cushion in that storage unit. Like, he was really trying to hide this thing, even in there.
Work.
But, yeah, Sarah found it. So, off to the reservation they will be going, I'm sure. So, Mitch.
Mm-hmm. She's at David's, the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I just wrote Mitch and Guy.
It's David.
It's David, okay. He says Rosie wants to take a bus ride to California to see the Monarchs.
Mm-hmm.
So, once again, there was those Monarchs that we were talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
And Mitch never tells him
that
Rosie is dead.
He told Rosie, David told Rosie to wait until she graduated. She was going to leave.
Right.
While she was
right then, yeah. And but this is Mitch's opportunity.
Right.
And she doesn't use it. She doesn't tell him.
No, she starts to rush off.
And that's understandable. I mean, this is not.
But he asks.
Yeah.
She starts to, as soon as they're having this conversation, she's done. She doesn't want to hear this.
Right.
She's so upset that Rosie was that unhappy that she was going to run away.
Yes.
And so she starts to leave, and he asks if she's his child.
Yes.
And Mitch lies and says no.
Up till now, we didn't know if he knew.
I know,
but
so now,
we know.
I mean, this was exciting.
Yep.
Because now we found out
and
a little
she
bit
says
more.
no. She stands, and she leaves.
She lied. And doesn't tell him that she's dead.
Yes.
Still doesn't tell him.
Yes. Why does he need to know? Why does he need to hear this right now? She, and this is a thing where I get it. She can't even talk about it. Too much just came right up to the surface. At least here, she's not like hanging out with some Rosie wannabe hitchhiker at some salesman at some bar in a motel. This is more.
This is an interesting storyline. I like this.
Yeah. Yeah. This I could buy into, and I'm liking it. I mean, I'm not liking it. Like, woo, this is great. I want to hang out here. It's interesting. So Stan.
So now we're back with Tommy and Stan, and Tommy doesn't want to eat his dinner.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if
Stan
you can imagine.
has dinner ready.
So Stan apologizes to him, and he says, "Why did you hurt those birds?"
Well, and Tommy is still upset. I mean, like, he apologized, but
How
it's
do
not
you
like...
ever take that away?
Yeah, it's not like, it's okay, Dad, I accept it. It's like, yeah, you said you hate me.
Yeah, exactly. And he says, why'd you hurt those birds? And Tommy says, I don't know. And then he says, if you go, Dad, who's going to take care of us?
Yeah.
And he said, everyone leaves. Does Mom still love us? And then they all break down. They just break down.
Yeah, yeah.
But how
he also promises that they'll never be alone.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're trying to comfort, but you know what? Yeah, you'll never be alone, but where's Mitch?
And you're going to potentially go to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
And Mom's gone. Does she love
Terry
us?
out.
What's going on? Terry's gone.
What's going on?
The grandparents are not functioning.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, just really gut-wrenching. But once again, at least they're communicating.
At least they're communicating, yes. There's some conversation. And this is something that we haven't seen much of.
And once again, had they had these conversations earlier, there would be no dead birds or other things because he would have been able to verbalize this and they would have been able to, kind of work through those feelings without having him have to
let's go back.
Out.
I mean, if there was better communication, Rosie might not have ended up at that casino that night.
Right.
If they could have talked about David and everything else. Mm. She found that it was a secret that sparked this, is what it sounds like. And you know what? This just seems to be a theme with this family.
And the whole show.
Yes.
It runs through
everything. Yeah.
So Holder is helping Sarah figure out her way through the casino. And they're trying to figure out how, she's got to get up there. And he can't go in.
Right.
And so he's sitting in a car out in the garage area of the casino.
Right.
Anybody could walk out there. I mean, he's like a sitting duck. That really freaked me out.
Yeah, right.
But he's walking her through. He's like, go here, go do this, get up, go up through this elevator.
Right. He's guiding her through. He's the Holder GPS.
So he's saying, are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
Well, yeah, of course she is. I mean, there's no stopping her.
Right.
I don't want her to do it. I'm terrified, but she'll have to.
Right.
So Gwen meets with the mayor. And she proposes that he walk away from Chief Jackson's deal. And he laughs in her face. Why would I do that? Well, she reminds him of a time when he was inappropriate with her when she was 14.
She was 14.
And she says, how will my father take it? And he says, you think your father didn't know?
Oh. Oh, my gosh. Now, the story they say is that what she relays here is that he kissed her, which is completely highly inappropriate. But it's not. When I was writing the notes, I actually put a note on here that it was more than that. But now I'm not thinking it was. But even that is highly inappropriate.
Oh my gosh. Ew.
And the fact that the father knew is bizarre. Like, no, this is not
just
right.
Scummy. This whole thing is just so scummy.
Yep.
So Stan and the boys are in bed together. They're all kind of just snuggling in, and his phone rings, and it's Mitch.
Yes. And
he says, why? She says, why do we have so many secrets, Stan? Because you don't ever talk to each other.
Right.
It's not rocket science.
Right.
It's not that hard to figure out.
No. These are a lot of secrets, and we just talked about it. It's messing your life up.
And check this out. She says Rosie hadn't been speaking to us for months. Why didn't we ask her what was wrong?
Yeah.
Really? For months and you never asked her what was wrong?
Right.
What is wrong with people?
Right. I don't know.
I mean, it's just, I think I couldn't go 5 minutes if I noticed something was wrong. What's wrong? What are you doing? Why won't you tell me?
Well, yeah, you can't.
I would just lawyer them to death.
Yeah, you can't help yourself.
But I just don't get it. I can't understand how you could go months and not ask what was wrong.
It's crazy. You can't go 5 minutes.
No.
If I start coughing, you start asking what's wrong.
What's wrong? Why are you coughing?
Why are you coughing?
Cold?
Can you put your arms up in the air?
Is it a tickle or a cold? Do you just swallow something wrong? What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. So these people would murder me if I had to live with them because they wouldn't know what to do with that.
This would be a very different story if you were in it.
Yeah, I would have been the one killed.
Yeah, right.
All of them would have.
It would have been like Murder on the Orient Express. How that hasn't happened to you yet? I don't
thanks.
know.
Thanks a lot.
Well, I mean, you're in big groups of people. I would think at some point somebody would go, you know what we could do?
Let's just murder her.
We'll all do it, then nobody gets blamed.
Exactly. So he says, we did the best we could, Mitch. And she tells him, Rosie found a letter to David. I wrote to David when I was pregnant, a letter I never sent.
Yeah.
And she went to visit him a few weeks ago, and she told him she was leaving. And then she says, how are the boys?
Okay, finally.
Yeah.
Finally. How long has she been on the phone here? Wouldn't that be
the first question?
Pretty much the first thing out of your mouth?
They are alive, you know. I mean, like, they're...
Not to Mitch.
Wouldn't you want to know they're still alive
Not
and
to
they're
Mitch.
okay?
But she finally asks how the boys are. And
then,
he tells her, no, you know what he says?
Yeah, I do. I wrote it down.
Take care.
No, he says, the boys are okay. And then he tells her he has to go.
He actually tells her take care. Right. The reason I wrote that down.
Because we always said that.
Because, we used to have a friend who used that as an insult.
Right.
So whenever somebody would say something and he found it, like he wanted to say, like, you know what, go stick it to yourself, he would go, you just take care.
Yeah.
And it became something that we would say, and it was pretty funny. So when he said take care, I'm like, yep, that was the Brock right there saying take care. But he doesn't
elaborate. He just says the boys are okay and I have to go. You take care.
You take care.
You just take care now, Mitch. You go take care in that motel room. I hope you're having fun.
Yep.
While I'm sitting here dealing with life.
Yeah.
And you just go ahead and escape.
Which now I think I'm going to start saying again.
So we're going to
I have a few people I want to say take care to.
You want to not me? You're going to start with me?
Not with you.
Oh, okay.
Not with you.
So the maid isn't coming.
Right.
And she was supposed to meet them. She was supposed to meet Sarah.
Now, do you think she was stopped? Or do you think that
I don't know if she was scared. I don't know if she was stopped. Yeah, it could be anything. But Sarah decides to go in anyway because she's Sarah.
That's right.
And that's okay. I respect that in a scary kind of way. So Holder does try to stop her, and he says, let me go instead, because that's why I love Holder. And I would go, okay, yes, I insist.
Of course you would. Yeah. You wouldn't have gotten out of the car.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
In fact, you probably wouldn't have gone. You would have said, okay, go. And on your way back, could you stop at Costco?
Exactly. Yeah. I totally would have. So she goes in without a disguise and is spotted. Okay. Really?
Well, they kind of know who you are,
really?
Sarah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yes.
So Holder makes a spectacle to get her time to get up there.
Right. Right.
And Sarah waits.
He comes in, he starts making a scene. Now, for him, he's definitely on their radar. So they all start coming up at him. Security actually walks right by her. You said that they recognized her. They may have been looking at her, but as soon as Holder walks in and starts his thing, they don't even look at her.
Yeah.
That's how she's able to sneak by and get up there.
So she waits for the elevator, and Holder tells security he wants his phone back.
Right.
And he shows his wounds.
Right.
And he says, this is when he says, Sayonara, Hiawatha.
Right. When he's going up the escalator. Oh, that was excellent.
That was fantastic. And so Sarah goes up to the 10th floor, and it's dark. I wrote, it's dark and scary.
Yes. Well, it was.
But she went in anyway.
And she uses the key.
Yeah. And she tells Holder what she sees.
Yes.
And
this was really scary. This was tense stuff because we don't know what's going on in here.
I know, but this was fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah. This was such an awesome scene. And it had me just...
This was Rear Window.
Not breathing.
This was that scene in Rear Window.
I love Rear Window.
Where she's in there and she's where she shouldn't be.
And
where
they're watching. Gets caught,
the killer could be there.
And you see the guy come in the door.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So they hear the generator, which is the sound from the voicemail, and the sliding glass door to the balcony. Yes. Like, it's all there.
Yeah, and it's a huge mess in here. It's completely unfinished.
Yeah.
Just terrible. It's pitch black in there.
And she says that Rosie came here to look at the city to say goodbye because she was leaving. That's when she saw
that generator sound is the one from the voicemail.
That's what I said.
Did you say that? I didn't catch that.
I did.
Okay.
And the sliding door,
the sliding door and all that, but the generator, I didn't hear you say that.
So she saw Ames, and then she said she saw something that got her killed. She called Alexi terrified. Why was there so much blood?
Right.
So Sarah's processing all of this.
Right.
To hold her over the phone, like, as this is going on, as she's finding stuff, as she's, and she found a key card in the floor.
Yes. And it was in the floorboards where it was kind of like jammed underneath the conduit there in the floorboards.
But she spotted it.
Could be easily missed. She spots it.
someone from City Hall was
got
there.
Blood on it.
And she said someone from City Hall was there that night. Holder tells her to turn off her flashlight. She says, I did, and then gets hit.
Yeah.
I wrote, OMG, lots of exclamation points, and crap with lots of exclamation
Yeah. I just put lots of exclamation points
I was absolutely
when
freaking
he
out.
said that, turn off your flashlight, she goes, it is. Holy
I about
cow.
died. I mean, really, I about died.
Yeah.
That was the freaking scariest scene. I didn't breathe through most of it. But at the end, I was just like, oh my god, crap. I can't even, like, how is she getting out of this?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, who do you think that was?
I don't know. It could have been Chief Jackson. It could have been the
security person.
The security lady.
It could be
anybody. It could be Ames.
Yeah. Because you don't know what they were doing.
No.
What if they went back up there and it just happens that they're back up there? You don't know what's going on. We don't know
anything.
Oh.
All we know is Sarah got hit and Holder's outside, and now what?
Yeah. And she's not supposed to be there. They don't have a warrant or anything to be there.
The heck?
Yeah.
So now we've got to quickly watch the next
episode. Yeah, we do. We need to jump right into it. All right. Well, that's it. Let's wrap it up. You can find past episodes of this show on our website at www.southgatemediagroup.com. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher and Podbean and Podomatic and, boy, there's, what else? BlackBerry, Libsyn. Man, if there's a place that you get your podcast, hopefully we're there. And if we're not, send us a note, let us know, and we'll get there because we're on like 30-some different directories. You can follow me on Twitter at rsouthgate. I tweet out about all of our different shows because we have 29 different shows now on our network. 29! And Martha, you do the one for the network though, right?
SMG Pods.
SMG Pods. That's that Twitter handle. And then we also have a Facebook page. And please get in there, join in the conversation, talk to us there. You can email us too. A lot of people have been doing that for some of our other shows. Not so much for this, probably because people listening probably don't have theories about what's going to happen. They probably know. We're the two that don't know what's going to happen. But if there's, comments you'd like to make, theories, ideas, share them. We will definitely talk about them on the show if you do. And that is, you can send it actually to the company one, which is Southgate Media Group @gmail.com. And please write to us. We'd love it. Rate us, review us. It helps other people find this show, which is really beneficial to us and to you as a listener because it helps keep this thing going. Woo! I think that's it for the business. That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
And that's it.
Now, next week, we're not going to find out who killed Rosie, but are we going to find out what happens to...
Next week, let's find out
what happened
to Sarah Linden.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that?
No.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.